room as best as possible. As you can see, we have now lighting, and hopefully you will be able to see very clearly these absolutely beautiful cards that I will be putting in front of you to show you all about what this 1 hour is about. So if you just make yourself as comfortable as possible. Some of you may already have been to the healing center. Some of you may have already ordered oils. And if you've got some oil, then please get some now and place it on your third eye, on your throat, behind your ears, and maybe a little bit on your heart. And that's exactly what I'm going to do as well. It's always a wonderful start to be able to get some excellent oil and use that. Always good to energize it. Place your hands on the oil and put good energy into it. Always remember to do this when you're happy and strong. So by rubbing the oil on your third eye and saying, please help me see. Rubbing on your throat, help me to speak my truth. Rubbing behind the ears and around the ears, please help me hear. It's always nice to say the truth. And then a little bit on your heart, please help me feel the truth. Now, these are wonderful ways to basically say thank you to the universe, to yourself, to spirit, to everybody who's joining us. It's very important that we realize that the cards are only merely a tool to help us connect along this journey. So by simply rubbing and asking the very essence of what you want and really mean that, please help me see the truth. You're opening your third. Being aware is ultimately the most important thing. How do we become aware? How do we become aware? How do we tune in? How do we feel the presence of spirit? How do we know that we are communicating and connecting to the higher realms of the psychic, the intuition, the most beautiful flow? All of these things can only ever be addressed when you and I are feeling mind, body, and spirit strong. One of the things that I've noticed over the past years when I first began, and I see it within many people, the need, the frustration, the absolute need to feel and to be the best I can be now. Is that what keeps us frozen? And I believe if we can overcome that, and if we can stop asking them questions and having to feel as if we need to know everything at once, then we start to get to enjoy the journey. Because once you've got there and you've become very attuned to this energy, it's done. But what did you learn along the way? Come on, enjoy your journey. So if you're here tonight and you're here to improve your intuition, if you're here to just have a taste, just to feel if this is possible, is it true? Can it be actually done? Can you actually tune into people's past, present, and future? Then I think this is a great course. I think it's a wonderful course. It's a wonderful tool to help us. So it's exactly 8 o'clock, everybody. Welcome, welcome to the first ever online tarot course that I've ever done. I've had many people ask me over the years to do this as well, and I have never been technical. And with the help of the beautiful Kara, who's helped me today, yesterday, and a few other days that she's just taken time and effort, which is absolutely wonderful. So I have to say thank you to Kara. She's been a great support for me. So what is this 1 hour all about? I think the biggest thing that hit me right in the face when I started practicing the tarot was how it healed me, how it opened my eyes to seeing things that I could have never have seen before, how it helped me become less frustrated, how it helped me see how life should be. It helped me feel how life should be. And it also gave me the confidence to trust in what I felt through the essence of these tools. A lot of you already know this story, but when I first was given these tarot cards and I started practicing with them, a lady walked into Tickle Pink, which was my wife's shop, and I was sat looking after the shop at the time. And she walked past and I said hello, and she lived only a few yards away from me in one of the urbanizations just inside. And she said, hello, Mark, how are you? And I said, I'm really well, thank you. She says, what are you up to these days? And I said, well, believe it or not, I've started practicing the art of tarot. And she just stopped. She turned to her husband and they both looked at each other in utter shock. And she really never said anything. And then she went a bit quiet, and I wasn't sure her reaction at all. But she walked out, and then I started feeling particularly bad because I felt, oh my goodness, I wonder if she was religious. And, you know, because with religion, the tarot, in some certain religions, the tarot is deemed evil and wrong and demonic. Yet is very funny actually here, because the Christians and the Catholics here, which is predominantly in the mountain that I live on, Catholic and Christian, and if you turn on the telly, nearly 16 channels of all the channels are all about tarot cards and people wanting to know their future, which is quite bizarre really. But going back to this lady, I was really worried because I thought I'd offended her. And you know, the last thing I want to do and you want to do is offend anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody. And I kept feeling so bad, and I thought, oh gosh, maybe I shouldn't be using the tarot cards. Anyway, a few days went by and I was in the shop again, minding the shop, and she walks through the door again, and she walks up to me, and the first thing I said to her was, I am so sorry. And she looked at me and she says, what are you sorry for? And I said, for obviously using the tarot cards, and it's obviously upset you. And I said, I don't want to upset anybody. It's just that they're not really like tarot cards. They're completely different. She says, Mark, stop. She says, I want to tell you a story. And I said, what's that? I kind of feel that I was brought here because of what has happened to my son. And I was confused, and she went on. I had a lovely son who we loved very much. And recently he passed away. And I said, I'm so sorry, I never knew. She said, I'm going to tell you about Gregor. And I said, okay. She said, Gregor used to work on a salmon fish farm in Scotland. And he spent 3 years there. And when he'd finished on the farm, he would go home and he would start to work on a project. And the project was something very dear to him, very special to him. And she said, Mark, you would not believe the past few days that I've been in turmoil since coming into the shop before I saw you the first time. And she said, you see, what Gregor did was something that for 3 years he put his life and soul into. And she said, and I did not know what to do with this 3 years of his work. And I was still confused. And she said, let me show you what his work is. So I'm going to get it now for you and show you. Out of her bag, carefully wrapped in beautiful silk, she unraveled the silk and she says, Mark, Gregor had a fascination with tarot cards, and he made all of these cards, and it took him 3 years. And she says, I know nothing about tarot cards, but it was his life. He loved it, and he was fascinated by all of the different symbolisms. And so he made his own cards. And she said, when I walked through the door and you said tarot, she says, I knew Gregor brought me here to give to you these cards because you would appreciate them more than anybody in this world. And we were both crying. And I want you to know, and Gregor, I know you watch over me as well and help me. I want you to know, guys, that these cards mean the world to me. So what is tarot? I don't have all the answers to tarot. I have never studied tarot. I know nothing about any other deck other than the deck that I've got there and the deck that I work with. Now, what is the difference between the way I work with tarot and the way other people work? Well, when I first got these cards, when they were placed into my hand, I'm going to work with these tonight because they're bigger, but when they were placed into my hand, I'll show you the original ones. When they were placed into my hand, I was asked to look at them and see what I thought, because my first teacher knew that I would be able to read with them. And she had read with many different forms of cards. This is a new deck, by the way, everybody. And this is 10 years old. They've been used a lot. And I've got 3 decks this size. So this is the deck you'll be working with. So when I got these cards, I said, first of all, no thanks. I don't want them cards. And she said, why not, Mark? I said, no, it's got death in. It's got all these bad things in there, and you know, it's scary. And she laughed and she explained, and then I started to realize all that I was taught, or all that I was programmed to believe, was nonsense. And it is nonsense. So these cards were sat with me. And a few days went on, and of course I was using angel cards. I'd been using angel cards for quite a while. And I went to a big show and I was using my angel cards. This is a fascinating story. You're going to love this. I sat down in a big castle, lots of people doing their work, readers, healers, lots of different people. And from nowhere, a lady came and sat down with the most longest blonde, beautiful hair that went down past her bum. She was roundabout. So I sat there and I looked at her and thought, what an energy. So I turned my cards over and I started to read. 3 cards was all I ever used for any one client when I was doing my angel card readings. It was a lovely reading, but very, very strange and very different from any other reading on anybody I've ever done. Well, except for one. And when I'd finished, she just smiled and said, and she had no idea that I was about to go on a journey with tarot, she said, my dear, you will soon not use those cards again. And I went, oh, but I could not imagine not using my angel cards. They were bonded to me. They meant everything to me. But she said, you will know the day when you will stop using them because they will not work. I thought, no, but okay. And then she went. So I said to my friend who I was working with, the beautiful Japanese healer, do you know that lady who's just been and talked to me? P.E.H, she said. What lady? I said, the lady with the long blonde hair, 6 foot. I mean, you couldn't miss her, P.E.H, come on. He said, no lady. And I thought, what? So I walked around the stand and went in front of the stand in front of me, and I said, the lady with the long blonde hair, did she walk past? Did she go this way? She says, sorry, I don't know what you mean. So now I'm on a mission to find out who this lady was, and I went to nearly every stall and asked. Nobody even knew who I was talking about. And I was just dumbfounded. How on earth can all of these stands on this beautiful, this castle, in this castle, how can nobody have recognized this lady? She was 6 foot and she had the most beautiful hair. So work that one out for yourself. So going back to Tickle Pink upstairs, one of my clients came through the door and the set of cards were still in one of my drawers. I turned 3 cards over for this lady. They were Doreen Virtue's angel cards. I turned one which spoke about her pet in heaven. I turned another one over which was about her child in heaven that had passed away. And I turned another card over which I can't remember, but I remember them too. And then I looked at her and I had an awful feeling. And she looked at me and she said, are you okay, Mark? Is there anything wrong? And I said, I think there is. And she looked terrified. And I said, no, but it's nothing to do with you, Angel. It's nothing to do with you. It's to do with me. And she said, why? And I says, because I've turned 3 cards over and I know one of the cards means nothing. And I know 2 of the cards mean nothing. And I think the 3rd one means nothing. And she says, what do you mean? And I said, well, you've never had a pet that's died, have you? She said, no, I've never had a pet. And I said, and you've never had a child that's moving into the light, you know, a pregnancy, and then you've lost your... She said, no. I thought, my God, my cards don't work. So I got the cards and I threw them and I took this set of cards out. And that's how my journey began. My first teacher said to me, Mark, will you do me a favor? And I said, what's that? She said, would you read for my friend in America? And I said, sure. And this was my first reading, so I always remember it. And she said, she told me his name, which obviously I won't be able to tell you. She said, will you please read for this name? So having only a name, I took my cards and I turned them over. And the first card, I saw a red Ferrari. So I said, I see a man with a red Ferrari. And then I turned another card over and I said, I see a building, and I saw red in the card. And it looks like it's a red building. And I turned another card over and I said, I see the car being taken away. And I see the building disappearing. And then I turned another 2 cards and I said, and I see a sun, but I see the sun behind bars. And that was it. I looked more and I couldn't see. She went very quiet. Nothing was said after that. And she said, thank you. I was confused. I had no idea what I was seeing. And a few weeks went by, and my first teacher called me and said, I've got some news for you about the cards. And I said, sure, what's that? She said, I want to tell you about the person that you read for. Indeed, he had a red Ferrari, and he had a building which had plaques, huge plaques with the name of his company all over it. And they were, the company was a health food company, and all the billboards were in red. And she said there was some horrific news about his son. They had found some pornographic images of young children, and he was put into prison. This is where I saw the bars. And now he's sold his car and his business to try and fight for his son's freedom, because it looks like he may be going to prison for all his life. That was all what was said. But I must tell you, everybody, from that moment on, there was no doubt. There was no doubt that these cards work. There was no doubt that within these cards, I saw the future, glimpses, only glimpses. Now remember this, dear friends, there is no ego here. None at all. Whenever we read for people, we do it out of love. And we always say that we could be wrong, because we could. Because there are times that we try to put the pieces together, the images that we see, and sometimes we don't get that right. And if you realize that you are never going to be 100% perfect, then you are always going to be careful about how you put things to people. Now, let me tell you something about these cards. These cards help you see the truth. These cards help you find the answers. And the reason why they help you find the answers is because I am going to share everything that I know, and I am going to gently help you along this journey to realize that it isn't ego that drives you. It isn't power that drives you. It is the love of other people from your heart to theirs to help them along a journey. And it is your responsibility to be as kind, to be as sympathetic, to be understanding as possible when people are going through such difficult times. Because you will know, once you start on this journey with me, at the end of it, people will come to you and they will need help. Now, my dear friends, the one thing that breaks my heart most of all is when I see readers who become power-driven. And you must understand this, that when you are sat in front of somebody so vulnerable, it is too easy to take advantage of people. And it is the lowest form of vibration. And if ever you work alongside me and you move from being out of love into darkness, I will pray for you every day, but you will break my heart. These cards are very powerful. Now, that said, they can also be very fun. There are many readers out there who disagree with that. And many readers will say, you do not touch these cards because they're too powerful, and only work with them with the greatest respect. Actually, I believe that I have the greatest respect, and I only work with them when I should, but I do it with a light heart. So the choice is yours. So for me, when I work with them, and I'll tell you a classic mistake when you work with these cards, a classic one, which happens to a lot of people. And this is where the cards become diluted. Will I win the lottery? You turn a card over. Oh, no, it doesn't look a good one. Will I win the lottery? Turn another one. Oh, yes. You turn the cards over till you get the right answer. then it doesn't work, because you've lost that genuine trust in the cards. And so many people fall for it. They so want love. When is my man coming? Is he coming soon? One. Oh, that's not a good one. Let me turn another one. Oh, that's not a good one. Oh, yes, it's coming soon. And they ignore the other two. I've seen it happen. It's a bit like people going for readings in a big conference place where everybody's there, these big places, and they sit on one seat and listen, and then they go on to another one, and they'll wait till they hear their answer. For me, it is so important that when I ask the first question, it is answered instantly. But can you imagine spirit next to you, your family in the spirit world, and you say, oh, will my son pass his exams? You turn the card over and you ignore it and turn another one. Can you imagine how frustrating that is for spirit? I've just told you, what are you looking again for? These are the things that really are a slippery slope. So I'm really doing my best to give you the foundations of how powerful these cards are and how we should use them. So the question you may be asking me now is, do I use the cards on myself? I'll take a drink for that. You're not going to be happy with this answer, but the answer is no. I don't use them. So you're sat there thinking, well, what's the point in me learning from this guy who doesn't even use them himself? Well, it's a good point, guys. I have to speak the truth, and I am. But I believe that we are all on a journey. And I started my journey, and I was brought onto these cards to learn to use them. And as I enjoyed them, as I learned with them, as I got so excited, because people were coming back to me and saying, oh my God, can you believe what you said? That came true. Oh my, and I'd bump into people and somebody say, you get people saying, Mark, I kind of told all my friends you were a bit nuts. And I said, why? And they said, because you gave me a reading and you told me I'd meet my love and he'd have an old-fashioned pocket watch. So I went out and I told my friends, he's not very good. And she said, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad that I did that. And I said, it's okay. She said, do you want to know what happened? I said, yeah. She said, I went to a fancy dress and a man came up to me dressed as Charlie Chaplin and waved a pocket watch. And now we're together. I mean, so many amazing things happen. And let me tell you, dear friends, you will stop yourself, because that's what the mind does. How could I possibly say that? The mind will stop you all the time, but I am going to teach you how to tell your mind to shut up and to believe in each thing that happens and each thought and each feeling and each energy that then takes you to a bigger story. So going back to why I don't read the cards, because I used to, and now I know the whole truth about my path. And that is this. Throughout all of my experiences through the cards, I have now come to the understanding that my destiny is already in front of me. It's already there. I take control of that destiny and I take control of my life, and the tools that I need are inside me now. Therefore, I do not need the cards to help me see what I know is in front of me. But more so, I have learned to trust my future. For whatever happens, no matter whether it's good or feels difficult, it is still a journey that I'm on. So I am here, and I am here to tell you that the cards are a wonderful beginning to your path, to help you see, to help you help others, to help you be everything that you've always wanted to be, to help you heal, to help you feel amazing, to help you find your inner peace. And I'm telling you that these cards do that because they did for me. They help. They help you see things like you've never seen before. They help you, the anger disappears. The questions that come to you stop you from reacting. All of these things that when you use the cards, you realize that there is a constant flow of beautiful healing energy coming into you, helping somebody else. And just like healing, when you heal somebody, you heal yourself. So the journey of tarot is amazing. It is amazing. Now, we have a platform, which is Zoom. And on that platform, if you are going to join with me in the next 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 one-hour sessions, the good news is it's going to be on a different platform of Zoom. It's going to be on a platform whereby we're going to be able to communicate with each other. And all of you will be on a screen, and I will be able to talk to you, and you'll be able to talk to me. So we can really interact, and we can really get down to what we feel and how we can really become a most amazing seer of our future and other people's. And that's what I want for you. That's all I want. All I want for you one day is to turn around and say to me, do you know what, Mark? When I went on that journey with you, I have never looked back on my life. And I have always used them cards, and they've always helped me. And I'll say, do you still use them? Maybe. And no, not really. And I'll smile. I'll say, exactly. The cards are in front of me, and these are the larger decks so you can see them better. 78 cards, and we have to get through 78 cards. And we will do it with fun and laughter. And once you start to understand how the cards work, once you understand how to see the cards, you will then truly tune in. There was a man who is still alive, who decided to do some painting. A gifted man. His name was Karl Rohrig. From Germany, a most amazing seer. In fact, I often tell people who come to learn here at the 3-day tarot course that I don't think he truly understood what he was doing at the time. I have never met him personally, but I have spoken to him. And he is an amazing artist. And just so you know that each one of these pictures are huge when he started painting them. Huge pictures. And apparently they're sold all over the world instantly. And you can find him online and see him, Karl Rohrig. There's his name. And I'm sure you can also, if you take that name, you can click on to any site and try and find a set of cards. I have just ordered and received 50 sets. You are quite welcome to go and buy them anywhere else if you want to do this course. But here's what I'm going to offer you. I believe that, as most people have come here and learnt the cards, that you should be gifted these cards. So this is what I'm going to do. This has been the first one I've ever done, so I cannot guarantee you whether it's going to be 7, 8, 9 or 10 classes. But what I can guarantee you is I will give you my all, and I will work very hard to get through them all at a good time. because the reason why is each hour I am charging 25 euros. But if you last till the very end, I will give you the last lesson free. So it means that you've got your cards for free. That's what I'm offering. But please go online and try and find them yourself. I absolutely don't mind at all. I'm happy either way. So I'm going to tell you something before you do buy the cards. If you look at these cards which I get, at the top there, they're in Spanish, okay? Now, I don't know if Scott's online, but Scott Cornish, a friend of mine, he managed to buy a set of English ones. Now, for the past 10 years, I've never been able to buy a set because I've looked online and they were £2 or £3 or £4 or up to £1,000 because they stopped printing them because of one picture in here which has nudity, a woman's body. Can you believe that? So they stopped printing them in English. So those cards became like gold dust. But apparently, Scott bought some at a very good price. Now, these big ones are in German. But let me tell you something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're in Swahili. It doesn't matter whatever language they're in, because that's not how we use them. I do not use these cards as a tarot reader would use tarot cards. I use them in a completely different way. Therefore, if you are in the energy of knowing about tarot cards, what I have to do is strip you down and start you again. I have to unlearn you because the way I do it is different. And I would hope that you would have the respect to say, you know what, I'm going to try it that way. I'm going to give it a go, rather than start putting into here what you've learned from the tarot cards, because it will influence you, and maybe it may come in use. But for me, if you would, to start with, be a clear canvas, be a clean canvas, and enjoy the journey of learning something brand new with a new way of seeing things. Because on my journey to begin with, that's exactly what I did many times. So going back to Carl Rory, genius, a spiritual painter, or as we call channeler. He channeled these amazing pictures, and one day he came up with a brilliant idea of turning them into tarot cards. And so we have these tarot cards, but they're not tarot cards. And this is where it all becomes a little bit confusing. So I am now going to tell you what these cards are. Take the word tarot away and change it for spiritual. Okay? So now you're not on a tarot course, but you are. You are on a spiritual reading course. Look at the back of them. Look at the back. Just look at the back, everybody. Look at your life. What is it you want in your life? Like the back of these cards, I see waves, like the sea, splashing back and forth. But I see you as a bright light. And instead of fighting against those waves, I see you gently flowing with those waves. What is the point in fighting? Just flow. And within that flow, I see the red love inside your heart beginning to shine once again. For now, you are finding your peace without fighting or struggling. I see you feeling so wonderful because the blue that is the sea and the sky helps you spread your wings and fly. like a bird. For now you are no longer trapped. You are now open in your heart, and you are also beginning to fly and take your leaps of faith, to go wherever you want to go and to express yourself in any way you feel. You are beginning to become confident in the way of a lion, starting to becoming stronger. I see you achieving all that you need to achieve with the lightest of heart. You see, we can see so much in images. In fact, dear friends, you can see images everywhere. Everything around you is an image, and the image is always something that awakens. It awakens something within you, and it gives you then the trigger to be able to then continue along the path of what Spirit is trying to give you. My room is filled with symbolisms: elephants, Babaji, the Buddha, a clock, a heart, a third eye, an angel, a hand, a Fatima, feathers. Everything in this room, everything is a message. Everything. But it is only a message when the message speaks to you. And that is exactly the key at how you work with these cards. There are symbols. There are so many different words, yet the words can change. So you will see a word on a card. There will be a word in the card somewhere. There will be words somewhere, and then they will just turn into other words. And you'll go, and somebody will say, well, where does that come from? That doesn't say that on that card. Spirit helps you see differently. Spirit guides you. My dear friends, when you start to become a reader of these cards, you will find that people are drawn to you. And you will find that on a synchronistic level, that you will be asking yourself, why is this happening? And you'll be laughing. But you will be placed in certain circumstances where you are needed. And when that happens, you then look up and say thank you. Because Spirit has then said, look, you're ready. And then they will bring you to somebody who needs your help. That is how the Pure Energy Healing Academy has got to where it has. We do not force our work on anybody. We do not push ourselves for somebody to listen to us. That is ego. That is frustration. We simply trust, and we allow Spirit to bring people to us. That is the most beautiful and purest form of Spirit's work. And they will. And if nobody comes to see you that week, it means that you need to keep practicing, because the next week, you never know, there might be too many to handle. I so wanted to help, and then I got so bombarded with it. I look back and think, flipping heck, be careful for what you wish for. Now, I'm so glad of time off. This journey we take together, my dear friends, is a beautiful journey. And I am not somebody who will teach you. I am only going to show you what I see within these cards. And with that, you are going to share your energy with me, and you're going to say to me, Mark, I see this. And I'm going to say, wow, I never saw that. And guess what? I am going to digest that and remember that for a moment when I need to. We are learning from one another, and all I am sharing with you is a decade of working with these cards every day. And like I said in my last talk with you, I think how many of, if you can work it out, I worked 7 days a week, I had at least 5 to 7 clients a day. I worked day in, day out, sacrificed my home life and my love life and my children's life for something that I felt was so important. And looking back now, it's all as it should be, but I will help you to find your balance and not go crazy like I did. I can't stop you from going crazy because there are times that you really want to get there, but I want you to slow down and enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, enjoy the magic of these cards. I will share with you all the pitfalls. I will share with you all the ins and outs of everything, all the wonderful things to use, the right words to say in the right way to say it. And there will be times that you'll go, oh, I keep saying that. And it's okay, we'll just get past that. And then we'll, boom, everything's okay. So we work together to be able to become the most beautiful speaker, to speak with your loving heart, to have the confidence and to be strong for others. For it's not just words. It is a vibration that you're going to learn. You're going to pour your heart out with channeled energy to help somebody. So even though they may not have heard a word you said, they feel better because you've healed them, because it's not just words. It's a vibration that and hits people. My dear friends, I was sat with a very, very powerful medium once. I was very honored to sit with him. And he asked me if I would give him a read, and I did. And I could see him falling back and shutting his eyes. And when I'd finished, you know what he said? He said nothing about the reading, but he said, my God, every now and again, you just blast this energy. And I could feel it. And I went, really? And I didn't understand that until today. And now I get it. And you will understand it too when you start to work with these cards, because there'll be moments where you just feel this flow. And the words are beautiful and the power is beautiful. And you know that you are in tune. You are in that place, which my old teacher used to call alpha mode, which is the place where you drive in your car and you get from A to B and wonder how on earth you got there. These are the moments. If we know that we could be wrong, then we must be careful. I remember a very powerful lady once saying to me, who was very well known, she said, you're too nice, Mark. And I just smiled and I continued walking, and I thought about that. And at first I thought, how should I take that? And I sat and dwelled on it for a while because I thought it was important. And what she meant was, sometimes it's better to speak your truth than to go around the corners and to speak your truth, but doing it in a different way. Well, my dear friends, I've been doing this 11 years now, and I will always go around the corners and nip here and nip there and gently come in and gently come there, because I am not somebody who hits you with information. I don't believe that. And my friends, the reason why is because I was sat with a world famous medium once, and my daughter was sat next to me, and she was only 8 years old. And he looked in my eyes and he said very loudly, your wife is not your soulmate. You're not meant to be together. And I could see my daughter. I could feel her. I walked away and my heart was ripped into three. I was lost. I think if I'd have been any weaker, I may have walked away from the relationship. But somebody looked after me and helped me. There are never one or two or three reasons, but there are far more. And there's the only time we really truly understand that is when we move into the light. But suffice to say, we are all, I'll rephrase that. I believe there's no such thing as chance encounters. And I believe we are here to learn from one another. And I believe that he was put there to talk to me for a reason. Now, he said to me I wasn't a good husband. Was he right? Yes, he was. Was my wife my soulmate? I don't know at that time, but I knew I loved her. Was she my soulmate? Probably not. Was it important to know this? Well, let me tell you, I made a decision that day that I was going to fight for my wife and I was going to become a better person. And that was the moment when I started to look at myself as well, look deeper and say, why am I not that? I was able to look at myself, and with the pain of what he said and the anger, I turned it and made it work for me. So some of you can be readers eventually and be very hard on people, and it can be the right thing. But I would far rather have said it in a different way. That's how I work. Gentle, loving, kind, but in a way that, okay, let me try and explain this to you, okay? When we start to work on these cards, any reader out there, thousands of them, can tell you the problem. Any reader can tell you the issues, but it takes a true reader to find the answers. When I say answers, that's so important, because there's not one answer. There can be many. Therefore, the many answers gives them choice. And that means you do not take the power away from anybody, because no reader should take the power away from anybody. A good reader should empower them to give them the power of choice, which is the reason why I give them choices. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, he's done something awful to me. Oh, my reader's just told me to leave him. Please, hang on. Let's just have a look. Well, if you go down this path, this could happen. If you try this, this could happen. If you could do this, okay, so Mark mentioned if I went on that way, that might happen. If I go on that, might be a bit difficult there, but at that time, then it gets better. Or if I go here and we decide to go our separate ways, then this will happen and I'll meet this person and that might, and all of a sudden now, you've given them their power back. Isn't that beautiful? People will come to you for answers, but you have to give them the information to finally then make their own choices. You don't give them the answers. They see and feel the answers within what you give them. I hope you understand that. I hope that really resonates with you, because the last thing you want is to tell somebody, do this, and then something bad happens, and then you go, oh my God. Or like a lot of readers, they just turn away and say, well, it's not my fault, it's yours. No, dear friends. This, what you're about to embark on, if you become a full-time reader, or if you just decide to keep it there for yourself or for your family or for a few friends or whatever you decide to do with these cards and to work with them, you treat them with the most respect, but more so, you treat the people who come to you with even greater respect and love. And you should always work from the heart. So, death. It's always a difficult subject. I had a lady who came to me. I'm turning around because she's on my wall, because she was one of my greatest friends. I loved her very much. She's left this world now, and she's always around. Wonderful lady. She came to see me many years ago, and she sat in front of me, and I instantly felt what she came for. Instantly. You'll understand this when you start working with them, because you'll just feel, and you'll go, oh, wow, I feel it. And she sat, and her mouth opened instantly, and her husband's name came out. And I basically stopped her gently and says, I would rather you don't ask me this question that you're about to ask me, which I can feel. And she struggled with it a bit, and she said, why? And I said, when we want something which you want, it is too easy. And maybe, just maybe, that you've come into this world to be stronger than the very thing that you want to happen. So rather than it happening for you, you have to overcome it. And what was the question? When will my husband pass into the light so then I can live a happy life? Trust me, my friends, you will have many questions asked. And there will be far, far more than that, and diverse. But the interesting thing was, I did put it to her in a gentle way, and that was, if you can overcome this without him moving into the light, then you will overcome the real reason why you're here. And if not, if you keep asking that question and you keep wishing for it, then it may have a reverse effect. And the gentleman was over 90 years old. And she passed of cancer before him. I don't have all the answers. And I don't wish to cause pain or suffering to anybody. And I do my utmost best not to. So whenever somebody asks me about death, I just say this: I only see life, not death. We all go, dear friends, all of us. We should be celebrating our life every day. That's what's important. So, my wonderful friends, if you decide to come on a journey with me and to learn these 78 cards, let me tell you, you won't be disappointed. It is a fantastic, wonderful journey. It's filled with great wisdom, great inner power. You'll feel like you just want next week to be tomorrow. You just want the next session straight away, because you're so enthusiastic and so buzzed up. Why? Because you know there's something in this. You can feel it. It resonates in your body. And I tell you, that's called waking up. We're all asleep normally, but these cards help us wake up. But it's a great journey. And after learning a few cards, you then go away and practice with them until the next time. And then we learn another few cards, and then your pile of cards gets bigger and bigger till you've learned 78. And who knows, after that, we may even go on to an advanced class. I don't know. We'll go even higher. But this is a great journey and one to enjoy. So if you are still here and you want to join me next week on this journey, then find a deck of cards or go to my website and buy the deck of cards. And, you know, if you buy them, like I said, on the very last course we do, you won't pay for that. So it's like the cards will be free. I'm not really somebody who talks about a monetary value, dear friends, but I have probably taught 300 people, and out of them, I can tell you a huge amount of them made their money back within the first couple of months. So it's not something that you're thinking, is it an investment? It isn't really a monetary investment, dear friends. And I hate talking about it, but we need it to live. So I promise you, I will make sure we will discuss all about that too. We'll talk about that. But there is such thing as universal exchange. So I want you to be the most beautiful reader in the world, and I will encourage you every day thereafter. I'm always around if you need me. I will answer as often as possible. I will be a support for you, because my taking away all the monetary stuff out of the way, if you move on to become a reader, whether it's full-time or whether it's after work or whether it's, twice a week or 3 times a week, guess what you're doing? You have then become a lighthouse for the spirit world. You have then helped risen the spirit world higher. You've helped the spirit world achieve what they're here to achieve, because the spirit world works alongside you and me, and they help us help others. So by raising that vibration, we change the world from negative to positive. We change the world from darkness to light. And let me tell you, the reason why you're here is because it's 2017. And I'm telling you, this is the year. This is the year for us to make a huge difference in this world, to make an impact in this world. And that's what you're about to do. You are going to change your world. You're going to change how you feel every day. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel stronger. And you're going to be more confident. Why? Because when you read for somebody, guess what you're getting? You're getting the same information. There's many times I'm sat here and I'm reading for somebody and I'm going, hang on a minute, inside my head, this is for me. And it'll be for you as well. So you'll get people who'll come to you for these reasons that you need. Aren't they clever? Yes, they are. Your family in the spirit world are the cleverest family ever. They are amazing. They work hard. They do everything they can endlessly. And that's why I believe you've been brought here today. So if you want to join me now, this second, let's close our eyes together. Today is a good day. Today is a day that we come together as brothers and sisters to leave behind all the pain and suffering that is within our world, around us, and sometimes within us. We have been brought here by the love of our family in spirit. We are now about to embark on a journey of love and of power and of self-healing. For we will help others as we help ourselves along this journey. And the symbolic energy of these cards that we hold within our hands from today onwards will be our healing energy. They will be our awakening to who we truly are and why we're here. And they will always help us attune to our higher self. For they are only cards, and I am the true channel. I call upon Spirit to stand by your side now and place their hands upon your head and to give you the energy and the power to work through these next coming weeks with me if you decide to be by my side. I do not do miracles, I do not make miracles, but I promise you I will do my best to help you. I promise to share everything that I know with my hand on my heart. I promise to be the best I can be for you, and to always help you along a journey with love and kindness and compassion. I will do my best. That is my promise to you. I send a prayer for you now. Help you strong. I give you this light, a spirit gives it you through your head, to open up your crown, to allow this light of love and power inside. There are so many mystical moments in our life, and this could be one of them. Right now, where you are, open yourself up and feel your heart. Feel the power within you now. There is nothing that you cannot do, and there is nothing that can stop you moving forward in a most amazing spiritual way. Today we'll rejoice in that energy, and we will look forward to meeting each other again. And even if you do not, it's fine. Enjoy this moment. It's your moment. We are here to help one another in this world, and we must never forget. We are here as a caring ear. And we are here when asked to help. We give that help. That is what we do. This is our foundation. We trust in spirit. For spirit will always bring the right people to our door. And that will be a reflection of who you are and how strong you are and how much you are needed in this world. These are the key moments that bring joy to our heart. But this is why we're in this world. We are here to help. And that's what we will do. Okay, everybody, I wish you a lovely evening. Whatever you decide, I'm happy and I love you all. And, thank you for just being here and listening to these words. And I'm sure Spirit were behind you, your family, love you and encourage you. And just to hear some of these words could have helped. And that's all I care about. And that's the truth. I love you all with my hand on my heart. And I wish you all a most beautiful, beautiful evening and life. Bajerski.com is where you can get the cards if you want them, okay? And I'll send them as soon as I'm back from London in 4 days. I love you all, and I hope you can join me on this journey, and we'll have so much fun. We'll have fun, we'll laugh, and we'll have the medication that we need, that big smile on our face once again, because we haven't smiled enough lately. Love you all. Night, night from my heart to yours. I'll see you soon and talk to you on Facebook if you need me for anything. Love you all. Bye, guys. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody. Love you. Night, night. Night, night, everybody. Night, night. Night, night. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for staying. So nice.